Okay guys, hippity hop little bunnies, this video has been 4 years in the making. I first went and shot videos and reviewed hotels and what to see and do in Malacca in 2016. And since then, I've been back 4 or 5 times. I can't remember, 4, 5, something like that. So I'm going to share with you top 5 lists as much as I can. I think there's 1 or 2 that are top 3 or top 4. All right, before anything, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am Wander with Angela. I put out videos on the best places to eat, drink, play, and stay in Asia. Today that is in Malacca, and you are going to love this destination. The first thing we're going to go through is where to stay. Now, my number 1-ish favorite now is called Leomin. It's a boutique hotel. It's located right downtown in the heritage area, and it is amazing. It's beautiful. It's a historic building that was once where 6 families lived, but was converted like post World War II and has now been renovated into Malacca's only, and I promise you, only luxury boutique hotel. There are other boutique hotels, but none of them are luxury. They're budget-y, so you are going to love it. The designs in the room are simply beautiful. It's very modern meets traditional Chinese. It's the most Instagrammy of any of the places you'll visit in Malacca. And they have amazing food. So for all the videos, there are links down below to my full videos, and I think my Leomin was about 9.5 minutes long. So go take a peek when you're done at all of these that interest you. Now, as far as pros and cons, you're gonna love how centrally located it is. It is right in the smack of the heritage area. It didn't really have any cons for me, and it's the hotel that I visited most recent, so I would remember those. So it's my number 1 favorite now. All right, number 2 for places to stay is the Majestic. Now, the Majestic I've been to 2 or 3 times because when friends come to visit, I try to take them there. Again, this is a property, this one's actually been around the longest, I think. This is also a beautiful, the front of the hotel is an original heritage building, and it's been redone inside, and it's beautiful. There's a quaint bar that feels like you've stepped back in time. They do high tea there as well, which is really lovely. And this was the very first spa wellness escape that I did to Malacca, and you will love the spa. It is so pretty. They have very inventive treatments, and the rooms at the Majestic are gorgeous with bathtubs that have pedestal feet on them, and so lovely. There's also wonderful views. I would recommend getting one of the rooms higher up, and then you have sea views. I always love returning to the Majestic. All right, number 3 is Casa del Rio. And Casa del Rio is the most spendy of all of the hotels in Malacca. It was hard for me to pick between the Majestic and Casa del Rio, to be honest, for the number 2 spot. Casa del Rio is gorgeous. It's right on the river. They have multiple bars, which I love. They have big, spacious rooms. The rooms there are massive. It also had a huge balcony, my room did, and it overlooked the river, and so for happy hour, coffee in the morning, it was wonderful to sit there and just watch boats go by, and so nice. There's also a dock that comes right up to the property, so you can do the river cruise straight from Casa del Rio and don't have to leave to go to one of the docks, the public docks, which that makes for a very convenient excursion. Now, there is a spa. It is a very peaceful, chilled spa. You will love the food, love the bars, love the beauty of Casa del Rio, and don't miss the spa. Okay, number 4 on my list of favorite places to stay is the DoubleTree Malacca. It has, you want to get a suite there, and they are seriously the biggest suites I think I've stayed in Malaysia in years. And I enjoyed myself in It had a very cozy living room, which I normally don't spend a lot of time in the suite living rooms because they're just not as comfy as the bedrooms, but this one did. And the bathtub in these suites is this big, ginormous, round bathtub that I ended up, like, I took morning baths, I took evening baths, I was in that bathtub all the time. But they also have beautiful sunsets over the pool, and there's amazing choices for food and bar and all of that at DoubleTree. If you're a fan of DoubleTree, you are going to love this one. Now, the only negative of DoubleTree is that it's a bit further out, and you will need to take a taxi to get to the historic area because it's just too far to walk. So that's the only negative, but if you want to be pampered, I swear, I almost felt like that was a wellness retreat. If they had had a spa on property, I would have been completely rejuvenated when I left my stay there. Okay, and number 5 and last on my list is actually a private condo apartment. It's called the Nature Valley Lodge, and it is amazingly situated right above where the river snakes, kind of right across from the Majestic Hotel. And it's in this building that if you're a family, this is going to be a really good choice for you, because the building itself had like different floors with fun things for kids to do. And this is also the building with my favorite place, my favorite rooftop bar. But the decor of this particular private residence is beautiful. It is so well done. And they even had lovely amenities in the shower, which you don't normally expect in when you're renting like an Airbnb type thing. Although you can rent directly from them, you don't have to go through Airbnb. So take a peek at them. I really enjoyed the location and just the feel of that particular apartment. It was lovely. All right, now once you're there, you want to do some of the amazing things that are very special to Malacca. Number 1 on my list is a trishaw ride. That is super Malacca-y, Malacca-esque, Malacca. Get in a trishaw. I have done them, actually, I think twice on my own, just for fun. One at Casa del Rio, which they had set up for me, which I had the best driver. He was so much fun. And then when my mom came to visit when I was living in KL, I took her to Malacca, and we ended up kind of getting drunk at what is now a closed, it was my favorite pub. My mom and I, when we were tipsy, we went from right downtown at ONKER Street back to the Majestic, and it was almost 2 kilometers, and they just, pedal you back. So much fun. All right, number 2, you want to hit one of the night markets. My favorite is the PASAR MALAM JAYA. PASAR MALAM means night market, and then PASAR MALAM JAYA is I think it's the street or the area, where this one is. It's a few kilometers out from downtown, but I was the only Westerner at that entire night market. I had such a blast. It's much more foodie oriented. Personally, I think like on a more authentic level, because it caters to locals, not tourists, than the more popular night market. I had such a great time. I highly recommend that particular night market. It is my favorite. Now, number 3 on the list is another night market. This is the ONKER Street Night Market. And this is the one that every tourist goes to. It's chock-a-block full of like kitschy, touristy crap that like locals don't really buy. And yeah, there is one thing that the first time I went to Malacca back in 2016, I had tried something for the first time called an agate, which are like these little waffly things that were filled with Oreo, and it was just so delicious. And when I went back this last time, when I went back this last time, I found the same family who ran that stall, and they remembered me from 2016 because I posted that night market video, and for a while it was the number 1 night market, like the ONKER Street night market video on YouTube. And so they remembered me and were so sweet. They gave me an agate to have just, as a welcome back treat. And anyway, try one of those agates and try some of the different food. you'll have a really good time. If you catch the night market, I don't remember the night of the week, but ask your hotel when you book. There is like a late night karaoke that gets set up, and all these local retirees go up and like belt out Chinese, generally Chinese tunes. I had so much fun just sitting and watching all of that. It was so dear and charming and lovely. All right, number 4 on my list is a historic walk. And the best one that I've found is actually through the Majestic Hotel. They have a historian on staff with them, and you can book out time to go on. I went on a 2-hour walk the first time, and then I did it again with my mom like a year or 2 later when she came. And it's so informative. You learn so much about like the Japanese occupation and some of the atrocities of things that happened during World War II. You learn about the differences between the religious cultures and the locals, and you can go into a mosque, a temple, and a Chinese temple, an Indian temple, and it's just such a fun way to get to know more about Malacca. Okay, and last on my list is a river cruise. These are so much fun. I actually made a mistake when I went on mine. I went during the day, and it is not at all as pretty during the day as at night. Plus it's crazy hot during the day. I mean, it's Malaysia, freaking hot all the time. So we were just kind of like a little bit sweaty. I would highly recommend doing it after sunset, because that's when the lights really open up like the beauty of the river walk and all of that area. So definitely go on a river cruise. All right, next you need to know how to actually get to Malacca. And I have literally done it all. In the beginning, the first couple of trips I did, I was taking either an Uber or a Grab. Then someone told me about the bus, and it literally went from like 250 ringgits each way-ish to 11 ringgits each way. So then I tried Day Trip, which is now my favorite private car and driver service in Malaysia. I've used them for back and forth trips to Singapore. I've used them for back and forth trips to Malacca, from Johor Bahru, all around. And I have nothing but praise for them. You get a private car and driver. They pick you up. It's like door-to-door service. So I've been from like my condo to Liumen, or my condo to the Majestic, and it's amazing. With Day Trip, you get to pick an excursion that you want to do on the way. And I did that the first time because I thought it would be fun. But after that, like if I just want to get to my destination, I'm not a tourist anymore. But you can pick from wonderful things. Like I did the Putrajaya Mosque. There's a lookout point on this beautiful hill that you can do. There's temples. So they are fantastic, affordable as well. And the drivers are always wonderfully, like they have wonderful English. The cars are super clean, but you will love them. All right, now I want to share where to drink. Malacca is kind of a weird place for that. In the historic area, when you're walking around, like you'll have a tendency to walk along the river because it's so pretty. But along the river, there's tons of little bars and cafes, but they all seem to serve beer. Well, they have beer and then non-alcoholic things. But it was very difficult to find a bar or pub that had cocktails and wine in that big, like general area. All right, number 1 is a speakeasy. This place is hella cool. It's called Blind Porky, and I went on my last trip when I was reviewing Liumen, and it's fantastic. I actually walked from the hotel. It's super convenient. But it's one of those places, okay, there's only about 20 people allowed in per night. You have to have a reservation in advance. They give you a code for the door, and they'll explain to you basically how to get there. And it changes from time to time, but when I went, it literally took me 7 minutes to get in. I was doing a live video stream on Facebook. I just looked so stupid because you go through like a barber shop and then a bar and a karaoke place and then like up a staircase, but the staircase is hidden behind something that looks like a brick wall, and then you get to the top and then you punch in the code and voila, you're there. It's very quirky inside. There's photos of like mugshots of famous people. You can stand up against the wall, and there's the lines of like how tall you are. You know when they do your mugshot, and they used to have, anyway, very cool. Now, number 2 are sunset drinks at Casa del Rio. The sun sets just beyond the river in front of the bar, and it is phenomenal. I can't remember the days of the week, but ask them when they have live music as well, because one of the nights I was there was a band playing. So it was just kind of groovy and nice and fun, because it was like a house band. So it just had a very like local fun feel to it. But they do wonderful cocktails. I ate dinner at the bar as well one night, and you can get whatever you want from the menus at the hotel. So definitely go for sunset drinks at Casa del Rio. My third and final place that I can recommend for wonderful drinks is Pampa Sky Dining. They actually have really yummy steaks too. So you could go for dinner first and then step out to the bar after, or go for sunset drinks at the bar, because it is on the rooftop of that building that I told you for the Nature Valley Lodge. And the views are spectacular, so pretty. And there's even, like inside the bar, there's this ceiling that has fish in it. So I don't know if there's an aquarium or something upstairs and that's just a feature, or if that's just a fish tank up there, but it was quirky and fun, and you will really, really love the views because it's the best in all of Malacca. Okay, next, where to eat. This is going to be a fun one. So number 1 on my list is Salud, which is a Spanish tapas restaurant that I love. Part of why I love it is because it's frequented most by locals, not tourists. And that is very rare in Malacca because they are just 1 block off of Onker Street. The food is insane. They import some, they have local suppliers that they'll pull some of the seafood or some of the meats from as well. Everything else comes from Spain. And the manager, Maria, is just, she's lovely. You're gonna love her. If you are a fan of Iberico ribs, if you call them in advance and tell them you want a whole like slab of ribs, they'll do that for you, but book it in advance. Contact Maria and tell her, because those were to die for. So good. All right, number 2 is high tea. Liu Min has my new favorite high tea in Malacca. It is, well, as you can see, it is just amazingly presented, and you're in this gorgeous restaurant, and the tables are all a bit quirky. The one I was sitting on was a sewing machine that was converted to a table, but the high tea is delicious and it's different. They don't actually serve tea with it. They have natural juices. Like one was like ginger and turmeric and carrot, and it's just so good. Don't miss the high tea at Liu Min. Number 3 is the River Grill at Casa del Rio. But you can sit outside right on the river and eat this wonderful fine dining meal. It's one of the most fine dining-y of Malacca, because Malacca doesn't have a traditional like high-end fine dining restaurant that has a degustation menu like other cities like Penang and, you know, of course KL. It's lacking in that. But this is one of you'll get closest here probably with a few of the dishes. So I highly recommend a night out for a culinary treat at the River Grill. Now, number 4 on my list is the Geographer Cafe. Now, this is quite a touristy spot, but I still love it. It is one of the most charming buildings on Onker Street. It's on a corner, same corner if you walk down that street to Salud. And it is just, it's lovely inside and so welcoming. Their food is delish. It's great for like to cool down, for lunch if you're walking around the historic area. I've gone there as well for, like, I've taken my laptop and just sat because they have live music certain nights. I don't think it's every night, but I've gone for cocktails and like an evening snack and just to, you know, be on my laptop somewhere else. And I always have a really nice time there. Now, number 5 and last on my list is Vintry. Vintry is this new concept restaurant, and you are going to love it. They basically pair local dishes, local Malaysian dishes, with imported wines. So you can't buy wine by the glass, you buy it by the bottle. So go with a friend, because when I went, I had this amazing crispy pork and I had some noodles, but I couldn't finish the bottle of wine, so I ended up taking that back up to my room. I was at Liu Min and had that for like a bubble bath the 2 nights I was there. So definitely check out Vintry. It's very cozy inside. I don't think it's open for lunch. I think it's only open for dinner, but do check them out. And yeah, definitely get the pork. That crispy skinned pork was, oh, so good. All right, guys, I have links to all of my longer videos down below. Plus, for Vintry, I've included a link to the Yum List. My friend Monica and her editors always have the best foodie reviews in Malaysia. So check out hers. She's got photos and like the perfect list of what to eat. And if I can be of any help, please do let me know. Leave a question down below. I will get back to you in the next day or 2. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, please give it a like. All right, I will see you in my next video. Ciao.